You're going to say it.
I don't know what to say. National 10 TV. I'm here with Duncan.
What was the score, Duncan?
I think it was 2-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 2-0.
Yeah, Leal played well, didn't he? Leal looks better than before he got injured, to be honest. Don't you think?
I think so. He certainly looks good. I don't think that I saw enough of him earlier this season before the injury to make the comparison. We saw a good bit from him tonight.
I think he looked good, and I was actually quite worried because a lot of our good players are away on international duty, so that was a bit of a worry. And I just thought Leal had probably won the games of his life. To be honest, he thought he was really good. Like, he was really bright and in the right position at most of the time. There was a little change of tactics that we did halfway through the first half where we shoved Mukhtar out on the left.
Yeah,
which was interesting. I've never seen that before.
And it unsettled their defense because that right back of theirs was like,
I can't cope with this.
I'm pretty good with the ball. I am not a good tackler.
I thought that was good. That really unsettled them. And so that was quite pleasant. Again, I thought Till Bunbury was slow and was just like he was looking for a fight, wasn't he? Till Bunbury,
certainly, certainly the last 10 minutes he was on. He in their middle 17. They were not getting along.
So the refereeing the refereeing in the MLS is quite variable in terms of quality, isn't it? There's lots of weird decisions that happen, and because it has to be the VAR only steps in when it's egregious, then there's a lot of decisions that go on the pitch that aren't really correct. Like, I'm not sure that Zimmerman should have been sent off for two pretty innocuous things.
You know, sometimes I think that I thought that the Zimmerman case was like, it was a foul, and then he threw a fit. It was like, was his second yellow really for dissent?
Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't have given him. I was like,
this was a soft foul, and now I'm throwing a fit. Now is it a soft yellow?
Don't you back yourself to a corner as a referee though? If you give somebody a soft yellow, like early on in the match, like, because you set the bar real low there.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure that's very. That isn't necessarily authoritative.
Yes.
Authoritative. Yes, when you're a referee. I don't think that stamps your authority on the game.
Yeah,
so much as makes people think you don't know what you're doing.
You are setting a precedent for the game to end with 9 on 9.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And so I was a bit like, I thought Bunbury. Bunbury could have been sent off as well in the second half. Like, given
the dissent at the end, it certainly looked bad. It certainly looked bad.
Overall, I thought Leal had a great game. Just nice to not, like, after losing 2 games, to get back and look like how we usually play. It was quite nice. And in fact, I thought Gary's had a go at them, and we looked so much better. There was some little passing, some triangles that we made that they were really beautiful, and they didn't lead to a goal. Maybe if Pico or Schaffelberg were on the pitch, there could have perhaps been a goal, because you have these overlaps going on, and I think that perhaps the players that we had on the pitch are definitely not as fast. They're not as fast as Faffer and Schaffelberg, so they can't overlap quite as quickly. But there was definitely gaps that we were making.
Who was one of the players that prompted these triangles that created the chances that you saw?
Oh, well, I thought Mule was moving into some lovely positions. Mule's very feisty, though. He's all about moving, and not so much about like delicate passes and things like that. But he was getting into some really good positions. To be honest, I thought Dax sitting is much better now. Like, he's found another role. Like, there's a way higher example. Steve McManaman joined Real Madrid, right?
Steve McManaman reference.
Joined Real Madrid, right? On a free contract from Liverpool, and played like in this attacking midfield role. They signed Figo a year or 2 years later, right?
What's Steve McManaman going to do?
Steve McManaman, what's he going to do? Leo Figo. So McManaman moved further into defence, right? Yep. And so he was playing like underneath Luis Figo. Then they signed Zinedine Zidane, right?
Now you're playing CDM, Steve.
And now you're like, where the fuck am I going to fit in with this, right? So McManaman basically moved into like a PLO role, right?
Yeah.
So he's just like sitting on top of the defense,
Yeah.
not really tackling, just like passing the ball to other people. And I think that's what Dax McCarty's starting to do. He's not really running anymore. He's not like storming around trying to get the ball. He's just like moving into space, give me the ball, I'll pass it. Whereas before he was a box-to-box midfielder, right?
That's right.
Now he isn't.
No.
He's just like a sitting midfielder who can spot a pass. And I think he might have just got 2 or 3 more years out of his professional life by doing that. Don't you think?
If we can keep a little bit of tread on those tires, that would be great.
Yep.
That would be great. So Dax's new role
Mm-hmm.
and positive play from Dax.
Mm-hmm.
Leal's turn
Well,
to play.
was great. Yeah.
Defense got another shutout.
Yes, we did. I still think that Mars a little bit lacking at the moment. I think in organisational skills, I think he needs Zimmerman beside him. I think that what's he called? Canadian guy, defender.
The McNaughton.
McNaughton.
Yeah,
I think he might be better than Mar, to be honest.
He certainly had a great he showed up and immediately was making
Yeah.
a difference. Yeah.
And when he came on, when Zimmerman got sent off, I just think he's. I was actually watching him. I know it's not an equivalency, but I was like, if Pep Guardiola got hold of him, he's like a Pep Guardiola. He's not hugely tall.
Yeah.
He's just like a really good ball playing defender.
Yeah.
I think. And I think if Pep Guardiola got hold of him when he was 14 or 15,
make him a Rodri.
he could have got hold of him because do you know what I mean? Like he isn't like a classic huge guy in defence like Mars huge, Zimmerman's huge. Like he's like my height kind of thing. Like he could be if somebody who if he was in a more progressive kind of environment, I think he could be great because he's got a really good touch on him. He's not great at heading the ball out of defence or anything like that, but he's got some kind of vision about him, and I think we look quite good when he's on the pitch. But then you need some decent holding midfielders to play with him, and
those are our two problems.
And we've got Brian Nunga, we've got Dax McCarty, we've got Sean Davis. I thought had a nice night. I thought he had a nice night. I actually think he's been doing okay recently because I think his role is more defined now than it was. Like, I'm playing with somebody who can't run. I'm playing with Dax McCarty. I'm playing with Godoy. I'm playing with somebody who can't run. I'm going to have to do all the running.
Yes.
Right? And I'm just going to let that guy sit.
Yeah.
And so he knows what his role is. And sometimes you just need to keep things simple and go like that. And I would think that we look quite good. Well, we look really good tonight, but DC is shit, aren't they?
They did not. That team did not look good.
No.
That team did not look organized.
They look like that. I mean, so let's have Wayne Rooney being the coach of the what's it called? Not the MVP team. The
MLS All Stars.
The All-Star game.
Yeah, it's gonna get like that. That's I'm gonna feel a little bit of conflicted about that because
it's Arsenal, isn't it?
That's Arsenal. So that's all right. I can root against Arsenal.
I don't know how did they pick that? How was Wayne Rooney the manager of the coach of that team?
I have no idea. To have a recount or something like that. Who voted for that? Okay, so going forward, what do you expect whenever we field the team again? What do you expect in terms of just rotation with folks in the front? Do you see anything that needs to be changed up there?
Well, like everybody knows, we need a new striker and we need a central midfielder. Those are the two things. We need another Sean Davis who's better than him to run around and do all the legwork, and we need a striker because I'm sorry, I'm blessed Hill, Bunbury and Zubac. They look like very similar people. Like just kind of like not able to do the job which they're being paid for.
Ooh. NSC Fan TV with a brutal honesty from Duncan.